Just a reminder that this content is for education and entertainment purposes. All content in this presentation is of general comment only, which does not take into account your current personal or financial circumstances, and is not advice. Please seek advice from a qualified and trusted financial advisor before acting upon any of the information in this presentation.
Hi everyone, my name's Belinda Finn and I'm a client advisor in the small to medium enterprise team here at Cutcher Neale. Today I'm being joined by my colleague Matt, who's also a client advisor in the SME team. We're here to talk about key performance indicators, KPIs, and their relevance to your business.
Thanks, Belinda. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator and is a measurable value that demonstrates how effective a business is achieving its key business objectives. People often believe that anything you can measure is a KPI. Now, whilst every KPI is a measurable metric, not everything you can measure is a KPI, as at its core, a KPI is the most important metrics that any change to will affect the outcomes of your business. Whilst your KPI needs to be measurable, they provide so much more information than just a number or ratio. With the use of well-designed KPIs, your business will be more efficient, sustainable, and profitable. KPIs can be financial, numerical, or even measure in non-financial data. This can include all aspects of your business: your customers' experience, your people, your sales, your cost control, your new leads, anything. KPIs are generally used by all levels of management. However, some businesses even empower their employees by making them responsible and accountable for designing, maintaining, and reporting their very own KPIs. When designing KPIs, we need to consider what the outcome is that we are trying to achieve. For example, in a building company, one key outcome you might look to improve is your customer satisfaction. As building defects are one of the largest contributors to customers being dissatisfied, you could implement a target to reduce the number of defects on jobs that your site supervisors are responsible for. All KPIs need to come back to a tangible and consistently measured number or ratio that we can keep track of over time. Using the builder's example of defects, you might want to consider reducing these defects on jobs down to an average of 5 per job. So keeping a record of each job and the number of defects found is a great way of tabling up these results. Accuracy and timeliness are the most important factors when collecting data for KPIs. These will likely go hand in hand, as the more time that passes after the desired time to measure, the less accurate it is, as estimates come into play. Ensuring you design your KPI measurement to implement processes or systems to allow for automation, or at the very least, simple data entry will be key in ensuring your KPI data is as simple and accurate as possible. When designing KPIs, it's always a good idea to have more than one outcome as a focus of why the KPI exists. For our defects example, one outcome is the customer satisfaction, but a byproduct of less defects means less rework, which in turn means that your business has less costs associated with sending staff or subcontractors to site to repair the mistakes. So from designing this one KPI, we can see that the customer satisfaction will likely increase and costs decrease, resulting in more profitability. Looking at a single KPI in a vacuum is likely to skew your decisions or give you incomplete results. For instance, if we take the example of our defects KPI and we achieve the less defects, we would also expect customer satisfaction to be high and cost to be low. However, if we spend 5 times longer to complete the build, perhaps there is actually more costs associated with the build and the customers might be quite upset at the job not being completed on time, failing at both the outcomes we were trying to achieve. So when designing and reviewing KPIs, we need to be aware of other variables that could affect a particular measure. A way of mitigating the risk of misinterpreting the data could, in this example, look at the defects KPI in combination with the total build time KPI, as both of these together paint a clearer picture. It is important to continue to measure and review KPIs on an ongoing basis. However, there is no stock standard timeframe that should be used for all KPIs. Instead, you will need to think about each characteristic of the KPI and review these results on that timeframe. For example, if we set the KPI of monthly sales targets, reviewing this on a daily basis will likely over-exaggerate your decisions as the ebb and flow of sales occur. Whereas reviewing this on a fortnightly or weekly basis is a much better decision, as you are still able to act on the significant changes quickly without overreacting. A way to make sure that the KPI reporting is being put to good use is to set aside time to review them in a group, be that with your directors, your client advisor, key management personnel, or all of the above.
Thanks Matt for sharing such practical advice on KPIs for small and medium businesses. We can summarise what we've discussed here as: be clear on the objectives you'd like to measure, plan and design a system to record and report meaningful data, be smart using automation in your system so that the KPI process is easy and not time-consuming, review the outcomes with the objectives in mind so that you can use KPIs to make clearer decisions. Thanks everyone for joining us. Your professional advisor can assist with keeping a top-level view and work with you to achieve your goals. If you have any questions on KPIs or would like some assistance, feel free to reach out to your Cutcher Neale client advisor.
Just a reminder that this content is for education and entertainment purposes. All content in this presentation is of general comment only, which does not take into account your current personal or financial circumstances and is not advice. Please seek advice from a qualified and trusted financial advisor before acting upon any of the information in this presentation.